Hey everyone, how is everyone doing today? My name is Gina and I'm doing great. Are we ready for another day of Craftmas? I need a theme song for this series. Maybe I'll work on that. Okay, so today I'm excited. We're going to be working with polymer clay. Okay, so I have, they are the ceramic type ornaments, right, that you can get from Michael's that you paint yourself, right? Plaster, it's probably plaster, not ceramic. Anyway, I have a few that are in the shape of a star, and they are a little snowman, right? So it gave me the idea that I want to make some ornaments in a star shape out of polymer clay. So I've come up with a few ideas. I'm hoping this is going to work because in my head they're super duper cute, right? The last time that I did a polymer clay for Craftmas, I used just cookie cutters, and to be honest, they're a little, you know. And that was when I knew next to nothing about polymer clay. I have worked with this a lot more since then, of course, and I feel more comfortable with polymer clay now than I did 3 years ago. So let us get started. I am going to be, and another thing is that I do have the correct tools now. I feel like a lot of failures that happen, especially with me, is I just don't have the proper tools. I'm trying to do it without the proper tools. One, because I can't afford the proper tools, or two, I just didn't know I needed them. Okay, so I've just learned in my old age that you just have to save up for things that you really need if you are invested in that hobby, if you want to use the medium to create with it. So over the years I have collected items for polymer clay, and again I have been working more and more with it lately, and I feel a lot more confident in it. So with all that said, I am going to be using some cookie cutters, but these are for polymer clay. I got them off of Amazon. It's a whole tin actually with different, well, you see, right? They're different sizes. So I'm using the bigger of the star. I wish it was just a little bit bigger, but I'm okay with it being this big because, you know, sometimes you do have small ornaments. Or if you want, this can be used as a tag on a Christmas gift. Or, you know, some people have little trees. They don't have room. Like we do not have room for a big tree in our home. And plus with Phoebe still being kind of rambunctious, I don't feel comfortable with putting a tree up again this year. So I do have a small tree though that I can put on a counter or, you know, on a piece of furniture that she won't get into, and these will fit on it, you know, so different sizes are okay. So we're going to be using this star sized for all of what we're going to do. So all of our creations are going to look like a star. Okay, I have my popsicle sticks, which are 3 tall, so that I can have the same amount of thickness in each ornament. And then I just use my star cookie cutter to cut out the star. And now I'm just using some brown clay to make the little trunk for the tree. This is going to be our tree. And I will also use my tool to kind of adhere it together there and put some lines in, you know, for bark for the tree. I'll also use my my stylus to make holes for the eyes. This is what I have to work on, is the size for my eyes and my cheeks. I am still struggling with that, but of course the longer you do it, the better you get at it. So, and now I'm making his little mouth, and I use it just a small piece of the clay and roll it on a piece of paper, and it helps it to get really thin to make the cute little mouth. Look how cute that is. And then there's his little cheekies, and I just used pink clay for that. I will be using my pastels to kind of highlight the tree. I felt it was a little dark, so I wanted it a little lighter, so I used like a lime green and then a yellow even to kind of put at the top, so you know it would have some highlights. I will be using my translucent baking clay and some glitter, my favorite glitter, unicorn dust, to kind of put shimmers on the tree, you know, kind of like it has a little bit of light on it or whatever. I love it. It is so cute. Oh, you know me and my glitter. I just love it. So that's an easy way to add glitter to your polymer clay before you bake it, and it's going to definitely stay on there. So now we are moving on to the angel here, and I used beige for the color of the star. Now this is the first time that I've ever done this. I kind of made a boo-boo. Instead of just cutting the angel in half like the beige like I should have, I tried to just put this pink over it, and then it kind of looked weird, so I kept adding pink onto it. So I learned from this one that just cut the star in half, do another with the whatever color you want the bottom to be or the top to be, whatever, and then put them together. You will see I will do that with the Nutcracker and the Gingerbread Boy. Again, using the black for the eyes, a little pink for, actually for the blush, I'm using my pastels for the blush, just because I wanted it, you know, a little bit different. And I will use the little mouth technique there. And I'm also going to be using gold for her halo. Again, I'm going to get out my popsicle sticks just to make sure it's an even coat. These are two together, and I used a little round cookie cutter for polymer clay to make the little halo, and I'll put it around my finger after trying it this way and realizing that it keeps getting smushed up, and I'm like, no, that's not what I want. I'll end up putting it on my finger so that it will stay round, but I do use my tool to put a little bit of texture in it, you know, because it's a halo, and I'll just put it on top and she'll be ready to go. Then, oh yes, I am showing where I cover all of her, which was a mistake. It just made her really, really bulky. And the next time I do this, I definitely would just cut her in half. So, but you learn, right? It's a new thing. I've never done this before. So it was just a new experience for me to do. So, but I learned. And now it is time for the Gingerbread Boy. I do have just tan clay out, and I'm using my pastels again to just make him look like he's a cookie. I'm dusting him on both sides, and then I'm going to use an old toothbrush to just give him a cookie texture. And now, see how smart I am? I cut it in half this time. Yay! And I did not show me cutting the half of the green. Sorry about that. But I just made a green star, cut the bottom part, and then connect them together. I'm making his little suspenders, and now I'm making his little buttons out of gold for his suspenders to tie onto. I'm also going to be using some red clay cut into strips for the stripes. There I was just using a tool to make it look like buttons. Here the stripes were a little bit too wide, so I just cut them in half, and they ended up working perfectly for me to make the stripes onto his pants. And I will end up using some of the baked clay, or the translucent baking clay rather, and some white clay, mixing it together a lot. You have to use a lot of the translucent baking clay. Don't let that fool you. It's a lot to make like icing coming down, for his hair and his little arm things, like what gingerbread boys have. And again, with the face, I used black and pink for the cheekies and black for his eyes and his mouth. Now I am moving on to Rudolph. And I have some darker clay, and I'm just using my pastel chalks to make it look like fur was on there. And then I used brown and made little buds for him. Oh my gosh. And again, same technique with the eyes and all that. You'll see here I'm using black to make his little hooves. And I'll use red, of course, for his nose. A little small piece there. And again, black for his eyes and for his mouth. And I did use pastel chalk for his cheeks. And again, there, I added a little bit more black on that right eye, because again, that is my thing I need to work on. Here I'm making hats for the snowman and for the Nutcracker, and I just used that little hole punch again, rolled out a piece of black into a cylinder or like a teardrop and flattened the top of it and made it kind of squishy. And I did that 2 times, one in different heights, one for the snowman and one for the one for the Nutcracker. And here the Nutcracker, I'm using, making the Nutcracker, and now you see that I make another star, cut the bottom part off, and we'll add them together to make the Nutcracker. And that's what I did for the Gingerbread Boy. And I'm using black for his belt, gold for his belt buckle, and gold for like the part of the jacket that comes down onto the pants. And adding just texture with my little tool there. And again, I'll be using the black and for his eyes and his mustache, y'all. Yes. And there's his hat. I will be using gold as well to put around the hat for, like, the decorative part of the hat. The bottom part is thinner. It's going to be a thinner piece of clay, and I did droop it on purpose, so it's kind of like a chain, around the bottom of the hat. I hope that makes sense. And I did use my tool there to add texture to him. Again, the black, and I use, clay for his little cheeks. And there's his little mustache, y'all. Ain't he cute? He's so cute. Oh my gosh, he's adorable. He's my favorite. And now it's time for Snowman. And I used that second hat, which is the smaller version of the one I did for the Nutcracker. And I've got some orange that I just rolled into like a teardrop as well to make his nose. And there I'm using the chalk just to make his cheeks and give him a little bit on his nose, like he's got a rosy little nose. And I used black for the coal going down for his buttons. And I felt his hat needed something, so I made him a little mistletoe on there. So I used a leaf cookie cutter and cut it in half again. And now I'm using the red for make small little balls for the berries for his hat. And I will use some of that glitter with the translucent baking clay to put on his hat and the mistletoe. And then I do use the one that has the white clay in it to make it look like he's got snow all over his hat and his nose and just his body in general, because he's Snowman. And then I will end up, before baking them, I will put in eyelets so that we can hang them. I did run out of these, so I just used the eyelets that you can make out of earrings and just cut them off and use those. Or jewelry. You can use these for jewelry. They're the longer ones. Then I do bake them I think I baked them for 30 minutes at 275. And then here they are, all cooled. It is the next day. They are nice and cooled. I will be using some polythene to gloss them instead of UV resin. Sometimes UV resin just doesn't work well for me. I don't know what the deal is, but this stuff worked pretty well. And then I just let them dry, and you'll see the finished product. So I've got them all done. They're not as shiny as when you do use the UV resin, I will say that. But, I mean, they're sealed. I guess if I were to put another coat on, they would probably be glossier. But for right now, they are fine. I did go ahead and take my white Posca pen and I did a little bit of more decorating. I put the whites in their eyes and on their little cheekies for highlights. For little Snowman, I put a little bit of snow on his hat and his nose. The gingerbread, I just made his hair and his, you know, just candy canes and whatever, little candies all on him. Rudolph, I highlighted his little buds in his eyes and his nose. For the Nutcracker, I did add some eyebrows for him and just the highlights. Same thing with the little angel. I put a little decoration on her dress and highlighted her eyes and gave her a little bit of eyelashes there and highlighted her halo. Oopsie. I think these came out so stinking cute. The angel, I will say that I almost came close to just cutting her off and redoing the bottom part because this looks just out of this world. Ew. So I'm glad that, you know, it's a learning curve. This is the first time I've ever made these, done these. So I did realize as I was making her, let me just cut off the bottom and add on a new bottom. And that's exactly what I did for the Nutcracker and the Gingerbread Boy. You know, so the next time I make it, I definitely would do that for her so she's not so bulky and just weird looking. But then again, it does seem like it's a little bit flowy, you know, like she has a little bit of a gown on or whatever. You know, we are talking about an angel. So, but I am really happy with them. I think that they turned out super, super duper cute. And they were so fun to make. I mean, I spent hours on them. I don't even know how long because I wasn't paying attention to the clock. I just was having so much fun making them. I never got to a point where I was like, oh my gosh, I'm making another one of these. You know what I'm saying? They were just so much fun to make. So I really, really like them. Well, I hope you like them too. I hope that they inspired you. I hope you're enjoying this series. It's one of my favorites that I do. If you are having a blast and having fun, being inspired, crafting along or doing your own crafts, give the video a like, subscribe if you've not already subscribed, and I would appreciate it so, so much. All right, y'all, I will see you tomorrow for another day of Craftmas. Till then, y'all be good to one another, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.